Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this video. We are the EDL students, and we will be talking on law number 2023/007 of 23rd July 2023 on higher education policy in Cameroon. And on this law, we have chosen three objectives which we are going to be talking about. And one is the quest for excellence in all areas of knowledge and culture. Two, the promotion of bilingualism and multiculturalism. And three, the eradication of all forms of discrimination and the promotion of peace dialogue. And we are going to say our different views on how these laws can be implemented in higher institutions in universities in Cameroon. Alright, and here I have my colleagues and we'll be giving our different views on how these laws can be implemented in universities. Thank you. To begin, we are going to be sharing our different opinions on this law. And we have here
Kibon Mata, Miss Esther,
Chief Ayo.
Okay, so you guys are welcome. We are going to give our different opinions on this law, and beginning with the first one, which is the quest for excellence in all areas of knowledge and culture. And in my own point of view, I think universities should regularly update their curriculum. They should put their curriculum in a way that will set national and international standards, and also that will expose the students to global perspectives. Alright, that is my own point, and I'm going to start with Mrs. Taco. What's your own point of view?
I think faculties in universities they should focus more on faculty development. That is, universities should invest in the faculty training and development programs to enhance the teaching and learning in the university. So they can also support faculty participation in international conferences by supporting students to attend conferences internationally or worldwide. And they can achieve all this by offering scholarships to students to travel around the world and do more further education on their field of studies. So that is my point for the quest of excellence in all areas of knowledge and culture in all higher institutions in Cameroon.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Taco, for your opinion. Now moving on, I'm going to move to Mrs. Kome. Mrs. Kome, please can you give me your own opinion about this?
Thank you very much. I will begin by, when we talk of the quest of excellence, now we need to look at the infrastructure development. We need to look how the infrastructure is first of all before we start to think of the various departments that will be involved in the school. Because definitely, if we have a university without infrastructure, there will not be any learning. Except what you say we can learn online, but definitely we need an infrastructure, like a well-built infrastructure for students which can come to school every day and study. In as much as it is not distance learning, that some of us say no, they learn, they study online, but we need infrastructure which can help the university to facilitate excellence in study or the quest of excellence in every area of education. But now when we talk of the infrastructure, also look at the benchmark of the university. Which type of university? Now when you talk of benchmark, we talk of a University of Oya, that is the benchmark of the university. You have other universities like Himat, Hims, Biaka, that is their benchmark of the university. But now when you talk of that university without infrastructure, meaning that there is no university or it's an online university. But now, for me, my own point of view on the quest of excellence, I think a well-structured infrastructure is very important in an educational system. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Kome, for that wonderful pour out. Now I'm going to move on to Chief Ayo. Chief Ayo, what is your own point of view on this topic?
Alright, thank you so much. I've listened to a lot of opinions in this roundtable, and I'm very delighted to say that of all the points which have been expressed here on this table. Now, we cannot talk about the quest of excellence without talking about what we talk about promotion of research. When we talk about the quest of excellence, you have to realize that most universities, like what the University of Korea is practicing, they practice a system of what promotion of research through what UNESCO. UNESCO promote research through providing what grants, not only to students, but also to lecturers, not nationally, both nationally and internationally. So they provide research in order to, probably there are times we can see that the students want to carry out a particular research in another country, probably Nigeria. So UNESCO comes in order to provide those resources, financial resources, in order for the student to go to Nigeria in order to carry out this research. So I think promotion of research one of the key things we can talk about when we want to talk about the quest of excellence in higher education institutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for your wonderful pour out on this topic. So I think universities should come out with these views so that they'll be able to improve themselves and improve teaching and learning in the institutions. Thank you. So moving on to the next objective, which is the promotion of bilingualism and multiculturalism. As you can see, we are all dressed in our different traditional attires, representing different cultures and also multiculturalism. Alright, so we are going to give our different views on how bilingualism and multiculturalism can be promoted in higher institutions in Cameroon. And I'm going to start with my own view, which is the language policy. So a language policy should be introduced to the effect of using both English and French as the language of instruction, administration, and research in the universities. Alright, moving on, I'm going to start with Chief Ayo. Chief Ayo, what is your own point of view on this?
Alright, thank you, Chief Boris. In regard to this multiculturalism, my point is this. The action we can take is that we can establish student engagement programs between universities. For instance, we can do an exchange program for like the University of Oya and the University of Yaoundé. What are the methods? The method here is by providing grants and scholarship for students who are going to participate in these programs. So students who are coming to participate in this exchange program, they are going to be provided with scholarships. So this will help to promote multiculturalism in the higher education institution in Cameroon. Thank you very much.
Moving on, I'm going to ask Mrs. Comer's own point of view on this promotion of bilingualism and multiculturalism. So Mrs. Comer, what is your own point of view on this?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will also talk on the infrastructure of bilingualism. When we talk of infrastructure of bilingualism, it's that in an institution should be based, since they say Cameroon is bilingual, it should be based in a bilingual format. Like if you want to create a communique, if a communique wants to come out, it should come out in both English and French, because in an institution, most of the students in the institution, some will be bilingual, some will either be only French, can be speak only French, or can be more fluent in French, or some can be more fluent in English. Now, how do we come up to make sure that everybody gets information that will to be passed through? My own point of view is creating a communique that will be both in French and English will help both the students and the lecturers to be more informed on the activities that are coming up in the universities. Thank you very much.
Alright, Mrs. Titaku, can I also hear your own point of view on the promotion of bilingualism and multiculturalism?
Okay, thank you for that. I think universities or higher institutions in Cameroon, they should focus on implementing multicultural curriculum. When I talk of multicultural curriculum here, I mean a curricular outline that would focus on all disciplines and it will implement the teaching of cultures and languages. And they can do this by establishing centers where students can learn different languages, since Cameroon is a country with many languages, where students will be open to different languages from different cultural backgrounds. They get to share their cultural views and maybe their traditional dance and food and maybe attire, as we are all putting on different attires from our different cultural backgrounds here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Titaku, and thank you all for your own contributions. So in essence, universities should promote both English and French in their instructions, administration, and research. Thank you. Moving on to the last point, which is to participate in eradicating all forms of discrimination and encourage the promotion of peace dialogue. So we are still going to hear our different points of view on how universities can promote peace dialogue. So I'm going to begin by giving my own point of view, which is anti-discrimination policies. So universities should enforce strict anti-discrimination policies that protect individuals on ethnicity, language, religion, gender, and disability. So moving on, I'm going to start with Mrs. Komen. Mrs. Komen, can you give me your own point of view?
Okay. I will say my own point of view. I will talk of promoting dialogue. Last time here in Boya, we had a case where there was a disagreement between the Anglophone and the Francophone students. But definitely, when we look at a situation like that, it's because back home, when we start discriminating, you can say I'm Anglophone, you are Francophone. It doesn't make any sense because, like you said, you are my brother, you know, you are not my sister. We don't speak the same language, we speak the same language. It doesn't make any sense for me, actually. And definitely, it also brings a problem of discrimination between people from the western region, people from the northwest cannot get married to people like from the southwest. It brings a little bit of bias. So I think promoting dialogue is something that is very necessary in the university milieu. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Komele, for your own perspective. Now moving on, Mrs. Dako, what can you say about this?
Thank you so much. On this objective of the law to participate in eradicating all forms of discrimination and encouraging promotion of peace and dialogue, I think inclusive admission should be implemented in higher institutions in Cameroon. That is, universities should admit students from different cultural backgrounds. They should accept students from all diversities into the universities without checking at their cultural background. You're coming from this side of the country, you're coming from the other side of the country. They should admit students irrespective of their cultural backgrounds. And they can also do that by providing privileges to the underprivileged students who are unable to pay school fees, who are coming from the less privileged backgrounds. The universities can support them with scholarships and maybe support them with some school facilities to promote their learning and acquisition of knowledge in the classroom. I think universities should take into consideration this objective for the law, which is participate in eradicating all forms of discrimination and encourage the promotion of peace and dialogue. So this will help the universities to promote inclusive education and move forward with their studies peacefully. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Dako, for that wonderful contribution. Now moving on to the gentleman, Chief Ayo. Chief Ayo, what can you say about this topic?
Thank you so much. You guys have spoken very important points here, and we cannot talk about those points without talking about the most important one, which I would think is about creating a conflict resolution mechanism among students and staff in the higher educational setting. I think this can be achieved through providing in-service training to teachers and students on how to manage conflict in the educational milieu. So thank you very much.
As a conclusive evidence, I think the successful implementation of the law number 2023/007 of the 2023 law should be fully implemented in all educational institutions. And by implementing this, they can embrace the principle of excellence, bilingualism, multiculturalism, and equally social inclusion. Universities can equip students with the skills of knowledge, attitude, and values which will rapidly change the world, and further education which will facilitate and bring out good results in all universities in Cameroon. I am Mrs. Dako, representing the culture.
I am Chief Ayo, representing the manufacture.
I'm Miss Komen, representing the faculty culture.
I am Chief Ayo, representing the Ejala culture.
Thank you
Thank you
guys.
for watching.
Thank you guys for watching.
Bye.